This is an original Macintosh Plus from 1986, and this is the keyboard. And I have some future videos planned for the Macintosh Plus, but today we're going to be focusing on the keyboard. These keyboards are super cool, and they have this amazing tactile sound. But I'm pretty sure I can get this keyboard from 1986 working on a modern Mac, and I want to test out some different things with it and see if we can play some games. We're checking it out in this week's video. Alright, but before we get into it, I just want to mention that a very small percentage of people that watch my videos are actually subscribed. But subscribing is completely free, and it's a great way to support my channel. Plus, I upload a new video every single week. And if subscribing is not your thing, liking the video helps out a lot too. Okay, so the thing about keyboards is since 1986, the keyboard hasn't actually changed that much. So if we inspect here, this command key is like huge. It's way bigger than it is now. And we just have option, we do not have control. So we just have this button, but outside of that, this keyboard is pretty equal to most modern keyboards. Obviously, nothing like a Touch ID or a lock button that didn't exist. We do have arrow keys, they're a little bit strange down here. So the layout's a little bit odd, but we have the traditional number pad on this side, and everything on this side looks pretty standard as well. So outside of the different function keys, it's pretty much the exact same layout. Also, check out the cable for this keyboard. It's like a telephone cable. One of the big, selling points with this Macintosh was you could take the keyboard away, like pull it away from the computer, because up until this point, a lot of keyboards had been directly attached to the system itself. So that was a big selling point in 1986. But look at this connector, guys. This is not it. It literally looks like a telephone mini connector. And this is what they were using to transfer the keyboard signals into the computer. There's not exactly a lot of adapters for this connector available on Amazon or something like that. But lucky for us, there is a pretty cool guy who lives in the Philippines, and he has an Etsy account, and he makes this little adapter. And it's kind of expensive. It's like 40 bucks. It converts the analog Mac keyboard input into a USB 2.0 interface. So I guess my guess is if we take this and we combine it with a USB-A to USB-C converter, like so, and plug this into my MacBook Neo or my Mac Mini, I think we might be able to set this keyboard up and use it in the big 2026. So that's what we're gonna try next. But first, let me get this Macintosh Plus out of here. Side note, I have some videos planned with this Macintosh Plus coming up in the near future, so make sure you're subscribed for that. All right, we've got the MacBook Neo set up. So let's connect our series of conversion technology adapters and get this connected in here. There we go. Kind of a satisfying connection. I'm just being very careful because I don't want to break it because it's very old and the plastic is probably very fragile. And there we go, we have our connector set up. Okay, nice. We got the pop-up that's asking if we want to allow the accessory to connect. So I'm just gonna go ahead and click allow on this. And it's the keyboard setup assistant. So let's see if this works. Click continue, I'm gonna click Z because it's to the right of the shift. And then to the left of the shift is this. And this is, I believe this is a US standard layout. All right, let's see if Spotlight works. Oh my God, it works. Okay. But can we type letters? Oh, that's so satisfying to type on. How does this caps lock work? This caps lock is crazy. When you press it, it stays down. So you see how it stays down like that? Very interesting. Oh yeah, it's registering on the computer. I did not see that initially. That's working. I just tried to clear out by pressing escape. That's a noticeable difference. There's no escape key up here. So every time I press escape, I'm just typing a apostrophe. So yeah, okay, sweet. So this keyboard works. Let's try monkey type. All right. Wow, I got up to full speed literally instantly. That's the first time using that keyboard. Yeah, that is really nice. So these keyboards are actually kind of expensive because there's obviously not very many of them and they keep getting destroyed over time. So there's less and less of them around. So they're actually kind of expensive to pick up. So a keyboard like this in good condition that's working is probably going to run you at this time around like $150, maybe closer to 200 or even more than that, depending on the condition. So it's kind of an expensive keyboard setup to have this keyboard and then the $40 adapter. So it's definitely not something to, for the casual fans. But, if you grew up using a Macintosh and you want to get back to it, or you just really like the satisfaction of typing on a keyboard like this, there's nothing quite like it. So I have a couple of different mechanical keyboards that I've amassed over the years, but there's something about older keyboards with like this crazy key travel that is just so cool. So that's all I've got for this section. And then the only thing left I wanted to try was I do a lot of gaming and I want to see if I can game, like play some Minecraft, play some Counter-Strike or something with this keyboard. I'm just curious. I will set up a screen recording on my Mac Mini and we'll run some games and we'll see if this keyboard can keep up with it. I think one of the only limitations this keyboard might have is holding down multiple keys at the same time. I think that could be difficult, although it might be able to type just fine. So typing, obviously that's great, but I'm curious if you could use it as your daily driver keyboard and not run into any issues, in which case you need to be able to hold down multiple keys at once. So let's make this full screen here. I do have a survival world on my Mac Mini. I'm not very far. Okay. It's working. It's working for sure. I'm just trying to assess. I think there's a bit of input delay. It feels a little bit like I have like 50 milliseconds of. I play games a lot, so I'm kind of like highly sensitive to hardware latency. I'm definitely able to move around. It feels really tactile and satisfying, so it's doing the job in that sense, but it's a little bit like sluggish. So I'm not throwing any shade at the adapter or the guy who made it. It's just technology that you're converting 40 or 50-year-old technology into a modern interface. So of course there's going to be some conversion issues and gimmicks, but overall it totally works. I'm just being highly critical, but I can't believe I'm using a Macintosh Plus keyboard to play Minecraft on my M4 Mac Mini in 2026. It's just crazy how far we've come and how similar keyboards are to many years ago. So I guess it just goes to show, yep, I can do my inventory. I can like hotkey things around. Yeah. And then the caps lock is my sprint and it works for that as well. That is really, don't judge my house. I ran out of cobblestone. I have one piece left. This is, it's not my strongest house, okay? It's not my strongest house. But I literally just started this world, okay? Like how much, oh, there's no escape key. I'll probably have to rebind that. I have no escape key. What about that? Does that pause? Okay, so if I tab out, I can pause my game. And that's the only way to hit escape. So if I go to controls, can I change that? Is escape here? I bet I can't even rebind escape. Yeah, I can't, because every keyboard has escape, well, except this one. So yeah, that's crazy. So pausing your game is actually going to be one of the harder things to do on this keyboard. So if I just hit the command tab though and switch to a different app, it pauses me. So that's good for this game, but not all games are going to be the same. But I might have to try this on my Windows gaming PC and see how it holds up in like some Counter-Strike or something like that. But I can hold shift and walk different directions and hotkey. So it doesn't seem to be any limitations to the amount of keys you can hold down, which is funny because some modern keyboards have that limitation, but this one doesn't. But of course, they don't make anything like they used to. But anyway, let me just tab out real quick. There we go. Sweet, so that worked. And that's kind of all I had for this video. I have some more interesting content in the pipeline that I'm really excited to share with you guys as soon as it's ready. But this was, I just thought it was like kind of a fun little video. I was interested in it, and I love Macs and I love Apple stuff, so I figured some of you might be interested in it. But I'm not sure there are a ton of people seeking out videos about old Macintosh keyboards. But who knows? Maybe this will find the right audience, and I hope it does. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.